You're listening to Empyrean's podcast, Benefits and Beyond.
Ever get that sinking feeling? Like you're about to be stuck in customer service purgatory.
Oh, tell me about it.
You're on hold forever. That music is slowly driving you crazy.
The worst.
And it's always for something so simple, just trying to change your address or something.
Been there.
And the crazy thing is, this is what it feels like for a lot of people with their employee benefits.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's supposed to make your life easier, right?
Right.
Well, today we're diving into a brochure. It's from Empyrean, a benefits platform, and it's called Service First.
Catchy.
And it's basically a sales pitch,
Mm-hmm.
but it starts by getting real about how much benefits could be a pain.
Makes sense. Got to understand the problem to offer a solution.
Exactly. So they lay out these 5 big challenges, and they've got stats to back them up.
No, lay 'em on me.
Okay, first up, accessibility. We're talking long wait times, inconvenient hours, like every bad call center stereotype.
I can picture it now.
And get this, 75% of people, they say it takes way too long to even talk to a human.
75%. Wow, that's a lot of people.
It really is, and it makes you wonder how anyone's supposed to get help with their benefits.
Especially with something so important, you'd think they'd make it easier.
Totally. And even if you do get past that hurdle, it doesn't always get better. The next challenge is inconsistency. You call and get one answer and call back and get a completely different one.
Ugh, the worst. Don't even get me started.
It's like, come on, we already jumped through hoops to get someone on the phone. Can we at least get the right info this time?
For real. And it's funny, the brochure says 62% of people say just having a rep who knows their stuff is a key to a good experience.
Which makes total sense. We're not asking for a miracle, just someone who knows what they're talking about.
Right. And you combine that with the fact that the average person spends over a year of their life on hold.
A year. Seriously.
I know, wild, right. But you start to see how much time is wasted with these bad systems.
It's true. It's like wasted time, unnecessary stress, and on top of that, you just feel like a number in the system.
Oh, yeah. That impersonality is a big one. Benefits are personal. You got to have that human element.
Totally. And speaking of things that make you want to pull your hair out, the brochure also talks about technology. Or, well, bad technology.
Who hasn't fought with a benefits website from the 90s?
It's like navigating a maze blindfolded. You just want to give up.
And that's the real issue, isn't it? If it's too hard, people just won't use their benefits. Then what's the point?
Exactly. And that brings us to the final challenge they talk about.
Yeah.
And it's the lack of what they call proactive support.
Proactive support. What's that?
So their argument is, if companies actually helped out before things became a problem, it would save everyone a lot of headaches.
That makes sense. Get ahead of it.
So they lay out all these problems, but now let's see what they think the solutions are. What's Empyrean's big idea?
Well, the first thing that jumps out is this whole strategic partnership thing.
Strategic partnership.
Yeah, they're saying they're not just some vendor. They're like an extension of your HR team.
Interesting. So it's more about a service than
Yeah.
just like a piece of software.
Exactly. And they really push that service angle hard. They talk about having dedicated teams and get this, teams that are trained on your specific company culture.
Wow, that's pretty specific.
Right. Like how many companies even think about that?
Not many, I'd imagine.
It's a whole different level of trying to understand what each workplace needs.
For sure. But I'm guessing they've got some tech to back it all up.
Oh, absolutely. They talk about AI-powered support to make things more efficient.
But I'm guessing they don't want to completely replace humans, do they?
No, they're careful about that. They still emphasize that human touch.
Okay, good, because someone's going to answer the phone, right?
Right. And this way, those human interactions can be, actually helpful.
Makes sense.
Exactly. It's a totally different way of thinking about benefits.
And what's this precision benefits? It sounds like a sci-fi movie or something.
Right. They're saying AI can give people personalized recommendations.
Is that the future of benefits?
Maybe, but it definitely brings up some questions.
For sure. Is that cool or kind of creepy? But we'll get to that. First, what really stands out to you about this whole approach?
A few things. First, this focus on tech to make a better experience is huge.
We're seeing that everywhere these days.
We are, but especially with benefits because it can feel so impersonal.
Right, like it's just a computer.
Exactly. But it's not just about replacing humans with robots.
Right, you gotta have both.
Exactly. Done right, it could really help people.
Less stress is always a good thing. But how does this affect us, the listeners? Even if we aren't shopping for benefits, what can we take away from all of this? We've talked about what's broken and some potential fixes. Now, what does this all mean for you, the person listening?
Right. What's the takeaway?
Even if you aren't shopping for a benefits platform right now, I think there's a lot we can learn from what Empyrean's pitching here. First of all, don't settle for bad service when it comes to your benefits.
Yeah, absolutely not.
You deserve to have things explained clearly, to actually be able to get a hold of someone and to get help when you need it.
It's about time companies stepped it up.
Right.
It shouldn't be this hard, but the good news is companies are finally starting to realize that if their employees are happy, they'll probably, do better work.
Makes sense. So how do we make sure we're getting the best from our benefits?
I would say don't be afraid to ask your HR team some tough questions.
Oh, interesting. Like what?
Like, how are they using technology to make the experience better? Are they actually listening to employee feedback? Do they care if you feel supported?
So basically, give your HR department a little interview.
Exactly. And while you're at it, think about what you need. What would make your life easier? What would make you feel more valued?
Love that. Take some ownership. But bigger picture, what I'm seeing here is that how companies treat their employees, it really matters.
It's everything. Companies are realizing that if they want to keep good people, they've got to create a culture that actually supports them.
It's not just about salary anymore. It's the whole package.
Exactly. And this is a huge part of that package, which is why it's so important to understand your benefits. Knowledge is power, my friend. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Do some research.
Your own advocate.
Yeah.
Well, we have covered a lot of ground today. Everything from horrible hold music to AI taking over the world.
And everything in between.
Pretty much. Until next time.
Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and follow us on LinkedIn. We'll be back with more great content in our next episode.